So please find yourself in a tall feeling, supported feeling seat. Doesn't really matter to me what that looks like, but if you're in a chair, you might uncross at the ankles and knees and opt to put feet flat on the floor if they reach, or on blocks. Feet in line with your knees in line with your hips, shoulders stacked on top of your hips, and then gaze is forward. If you're on the floor, remember that sitting on the floor might make you feel kind of like your tail is scooping under you, like if your pelvis was a bowl, the water spills out of the back. So try to find a space where it feels like your tail is kind of poking out behind you, or like the water might spill out of the front more. Good. And then roll your shoulders a couple times. Give your neck and your head more space. And next time your shoulders are down, keep them down. Really gentle pinch of your shoulders behind you. Gentle tug in and up with the pelvis and the belly organs to support the whole column of your spine. Also consider tucking your chin down and back, like you're kind of pushing your head into an invisible wall behind you, just to get that extra little bit of length through the top of your head. When your shoulders are down, keep them down, bend your elbows, and rest your hands on on the floor or on your lap somewhere. You might put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest if that feels accessible. And then lock your gaze ahead of yourself and slightly down so you can relax your eyeballs a little bit. Really fix them in that position, but then consciously relax the muscles around your eyebrows and your eyelids. You might even close your eyes partly or all the way. Relax your jaw, unclench your feet and your hands, and mentally separate yourself from what you were doing so you can come fully now into what you are doing. Good. Start to ground and center yourself, starting with everything that you see in your field of vision, even if your eyes are shut. You don't have to label all the objects, right? It's like you're an alien. Just notice gray square, blue line, black box, whatever you see. Notice the quality of the light in the room. Notice the shadows. Notice the other people and objects in the room around you. Notice where the doors and windows are in relation to your body. Notice all the noises in the space besides my voice. Notice the noises immediately around your body, maybe just from your own breathing. Notice your own personal bubble of space, not just what's immediately in front of you, but also what's immediately to the sides of your body, spidey sense of what's immediately behind your body too. Notice where air is touching your skin versus where your clothing is covering your skin. Use your skin with all of its possibilities. You know, your skin is one of your biggest organs. So notice pressure. Where do you feel heavy or something pressing against you? Notice temperatures. Where do you feel coolness on your skin versus warmth? Notice textures. Notice hydration versus dryness. Good. Notice where your body is pressing down into your seat. And see if you can allow yourself to get heavier there, maybe 1% more, but stay tall through the spine. Maybe you've let go of that engagement with the pelvis and the belly and the shoulders. You can gently re-engage with those places to the best of your ability. Don't worry about some huge muscular contraction here. Think of it as an energetic type of support or scaffolding. And then let your awareness settle on your breathing body without changing how the breath looks or feels. And notice all the qualities of your breath here today. Does it feel kind of smooth or kind of choppy today? Does it feel more quick or more slow? Does it feel easy or labored? Maybe there's a texture to your breath or a noise. When you focus on your breath, notice if you get a sense of what color might be associated with it or a feeling. None of these are right or wrong or good or bad. They're just things to observe. And remind yourself that through the rest of this class and outside of class, you always have the option to just be still and use your breath as an anchor for attention when you're feeling in pain or distracted or anxious. The breath is always with you. It can always be used as an anchor over and over and over. Good. Next time you breathe in, go ahead and open your eyes if you hadn't already. You can look around the room again. It's normal for it to look a little different after you've grounded and centered yourself. Make sure you're in a place where if you're going to move through the rest of class, you have space behind you and to the sides of your body too. And as usual, move at your ease. Ask questions if you need to ask. We might focus a little bit on relationship with pain today. So be observant and curious, and especially if you're living in a body like mine where pretty chronic pain is just part of your life, you might consider your relationship with that and bring it into the movement and the breath today. Just a mental consideration to add to the aspect of the class. So if you're going to move, scoot forward towards the edge of your seat, or if you're on the floor, you can always change the position of your legs. Just don't let your toes fall asleep. Okay. Roll your shoulders again if they crept up. Keep your gaze forward and soft. Keep unclenching your jaw. Keep melting your shoulders down and away, but keep supporting the spine in and up. Really gentle, energetic scaffolding there over and over. Good. Next time you breathe in, push down into what's touching down and reach up through the crown of your head. And you might just stay there for a moment, really engaging with what's underneath you. Pushing into your toes and your feet if they're touching the ground, or pushing into the sits bones. And then lifting in and up with the pelvis, creating a sense of length in the low spine, and then up through the middle spine, and up through the upper spine, while the shoulders stay melted down and away. Even imagine getting longer through the crown of your head, chin down and back a little bit extra. See if you can get as long as possible while barely even moving. And next time you exhale, let your right ear come towards your right shoulder. That could be a little or a lot. You could be really still, or you could experiment with reaching the left arm away. You could bend the elbow or straighten it. Palm up or palm down. Just keep breathing and noticing what you're feeling with whatever you chose. See if you can soften your face. See if you can smooth out your breath, even if you found pain or something a little uncomfortable. And when you're ready, breathe in back to the center. Exhale, other side. Left ear to left shoulder, just the weight of the head tilting over. We're not bringing the shoulder up. And then if you tried something with your arm on the other side, see what it's like on this side. It doesn't have to look identical or feel the same. Remember, we're not really trying to change anything in yoga. We're just trying to notice the differences and do the same practice on each side. Smoother breath, smoother forehead, noticing, not judging. Good. Keep pushing into what's underneath you. Keep tall through the spine. Next time you breathe in, come all the way back to the center. Exhale, look to the right. So turn your face towards the right side of the room, a little or a lot. And maybe you pretend there's a marker on your nose. And you could draw circles in the air, really small or really big. Find your range of motion today. Move slower than you think you should. And just notice what comes up for you. And if you're drawing circles, now's a good time to switch directions, still looking to the right. Belly in and up for support, gentle squeeze of the shoulders behind you, still looking for length. And when you're ready, breathe in, come all the way back to the center. At your own cadence, exhale, other side. Smooth out your forehead, unclench your jaw. If you drew circles on the other side, try them on this side too. Slower than you think, tall spine, pushing into the ground or your chair. Breathing, noticing. And draw them the other way too. Next time you breathe in, come all the way back to the center. Exhale, stay tall through the spine, but let your chin tuck down towards your chest. Good. In some bodies it might touch, or it might just be a gentle forward motion, but really gentle squeeze of the shoulders behind you will help you stay tall instead of slouching here. And then up to you. If you want to be still, be still. If you want to drag your chin towards one shoulder and then the other, you're free to try that, or something I didn't mention. Just keep your breath moving in and out. Unclench the feet, unclench the hands, smooth out your forehead. Practice Ardha Drishti, half attention, half on your body and the sensations, half on your breath. Try to do the same amount of turns to each side if you're moving your head this way. And then pause in the center with your chin still tucked. Re-engage with the floor in your seat. Re-engage with the pelvis and your belly. Stay tall. And place your fingertips on the back of your skull. Some people like to interlace the fingers and drag the thumbs up to that place where the skull meets the neck. It's called the occipital ridge. You might find your thumbs kind of fit nicely there. But if it makes you feel like you're pushing your head forward too much, just gently place the fingertips on the side or back of your head. Or just imagine a very gentle pressure and contact there without actually using the arms. Good. Stay here. Push down into what's touching down. Lift up through the rest of the spine. Option to draw your elbows together to any degree. They might even touch. Good. Next time you breathe in, look forward, open your elbows, chest is broad. You might even lift your eyebrows or your eyeballs up towards the sky. Use your hands to support the weight of your head when you get to the top here. Go back and forth. Next time you exhale, close your elbows, look down towards your lap, maybe round the top of your spine. And then inhale to open. Really gentle, forward and back. It's like a mini cat-cow. Hands are supporting the weight of your head, moving nice and slow. Ardha Drishti, half attention on your body, half attention on the way your breath is creating sensation. Let distractions be what they are, where they are. Keep bringing your awareness back to those two. You can let this get bigger if you want, or you could be barely moving. One more at your own pace. Don't force it, just allow it. And then when you're done, be done. Inhale back to the center. Let your arms come down if they were up by your shoulders or head. Inhale, drag your shoulders forward and way up. Exhale, pinch your shoulders behind you and pull them down, slide them down the spine. You can do this one shoulder at a time if you wish, or you could do it both together. Either way, move slowly. Try to notice your full range of motion. Inhaling forward and up. See if you can really squeeze the shoulders up towards the earlobes like you're trying to touch, and then pinch them hard behind you and slide them all the way down the spine. Good. You control the intensity with your awareness, with how much you're engaging with the muscles. If you need it to be softer and more passive today, engage a little less, but keep your awareness firm. Good, and then pause and draw circles the other way too. Inhale back and up, and exhale forward and down. It's okay if the spine wants to move with you a little bit more. Some people like to keep their hands anchored down. Some people like hands dangling by their sides. It adds a little bit more pull just because of gravity. Might make an interesting sensation. Breathing in and out, whether you're moving or not. Noticing. Good. And then pause in the center and take a breath like you're filling up a glass of water. Inhale, fill up from the bottom to the top. Exhale, top to bottom. Good. Let your hands come down by your sides. If you're on a chair and you don't touch the floor or anything next to you, use your blocks. You might even, if you're on the floor, want blocks under your hands. Let me know if anyone needs those. You want to just be easily able to touch something to either side of your body. Good. Hands coming out of the shoulders. Push down into what's touching down. Belly in and up, pinch your shoulders slightly behind you. You might tilt your palms forward, but some people feel a little more neutral with the thumbs more forward and the palms towards the body. Soft gaze, looking forward. Identify your right arm. And then when you're ready to breathe in, bring your arm either out to the side or up overhead. If you reach your arm up over the level of your shoulder, lift your shoulder up towards your earlobe. Now, whichever you chose doesn't matter to me. Now focus on the side of your body and create as much length as you can between the hip and the shoulder itself, like you're trying to make space in the basket of the ribs. Face is soft. Good. Push down into what's down. Glue yourself down. The hips are going to stay on the chair or on the floor. Inhale, reach around and up. Exhale, to any degree, lean over towards the left. Now, if having the arm involved just isn't working for you, that's fine. You could take it out of the equation by placing it behind your back. If you want to work harder and the arms are accessible, you could reach both arms up overhead like you're holding a huge beach ball. You control the intensity. As long as you can have a smooth, soft face and you can breathe in and out, then you probably haven't pushed too far. Notice where your heart is pointing. See if you can turn the heart more towards the front of the room. If your heart was already pointed to the front of the room, see if you can turn your heart down towards the floor. Just engaging a little bit differently. Last breath on this side. Push down into what's down. Inhale, reach all the way back to center. And exhale, lower your hands down. Take a breath, fill yourself up. Bottom to top and top to bottom. Good. Other side. Identify the opposite arm. And when you're ready, inhale, bring the arm either out to the side or up overhead. If your arm is up overhead, really reach the shoulder up towards the earlobe without taking your head off that center line. Good. No matter which you choose, make more length now between the shoulder and the hip. Then inhale, reach up. Exhale, lean over to the right as much as you want. Let the fingertips touch down. That's what the floor and the block are for, is for support. If you don't want support today, if you want to work really hard, belly in and up hard, push into the ground more, breathe in and out with a slightly constricted throat, and or involve the other arm straight up overhead like you're holding a huge beach ball. You can always take intensity out by softening at the joints, smoothing out the face and the breath, or taking the arm out of the equation and just focusing on making space in the sides of the ribs. Good choices, everybody. Breathing big and smooth. Noticing what you find. Good. Push into the floor in your seat. Belly organs in and up for support, and then inhale yourself back to the center. Exhale. Lower your arm down. Take a breath in neutral. Normalize what you're feeling. It doesn't mean anything about you. Just notice where it is and how it changes with time as you stay. Good. Twist next. So inhale, bring your arms out to the side. You can bend the elbows and make them really loosey-goosey, or you can really reach through the arms straight out of the center of the chest. You can even glue your fingertips together like Barbie hands and work hard all the way through the ends of the limb. Good. Mindful of your neighbor, inhale, get even taller. Exhale, twist to the right, just using the organs of the belly. And then when you get there, you could relax the arms down, or you can keep them reaching out. If you set them down, it's fine to hold yourself here, but try not to pull yourself and force it to get deeper. We're going for an organic twist, meaning pressure on the organs. Each time you breathe in, get taller through the crown of your head, even though you're twisting. Each time you exhale, squeeze your belly like you're getting a drip of water out of a washcloth. If your neck has nothing to say about it, you could look over your back shoulder for a big breath. And then when you're ready, inhale all the way back to the center. Exhale, let your hands come down. Notice what's left over for a breath. Fill yourself up, bottom to top, top to bottom. Good. If and when you're ready, other side. Inhale your arms out to the side. Exhale to twist. It's okay if your pelvis wants to kind of move over to the side with you. You don't have to keep your pelvis pointing forward and your knees in line. You could stay, or you could take your arms out of the equation. Make sure you're not pulling. Either way, inhaling to get longer all the way from your tail to your crown. Exhaling, squeeze the belly. Apply pressure to that sac of organs in the middle of you. Maybe you even look over your back shoulder. And then when you're ready, push down first into what's touching down, belly in and up. Inhale yourself all the way back to the center. Exhale, hands come down to the floor or to your legs. Take a big breath. If you want to roll your shoulders again, you can. Notice anything that's changed so far. Notice any remaining or echo. Notice your shesha. You don't have to like what you found. Just notice what it is and where it is. And notice if there's any mental stories or judgment surrounding it in your mind. Good. Okay. If you're a stander, go ahead and stand at the front of your mat. If you're going to stay in your chair, we're going to do sun salutations now. So make sure that you have enough meat on the seat that if you tilt forward, you're not going to fall forward. Okay? So maybe readjust a little bit there. If you're going to stay in your chair, probably keep your feet at hip distance with your feet in line with your knees, knees in line with your hips, shoulders stacked on top. If you're going to stand, march in place for a minute and don't think about where your feet are or making it perfect. or whatever you think it's supposed to look like. Just march it out and then suddenly stop and look down at your feet. And they may not be where you expected them to be or even where you want them to be. But if you feel secure, like you're not wobbling too far side to side or forward and back, you're probably okay to stay there. If you feel wobbly, then maybe change so you have a slightly wider foundation. Good. Now rock your weight forward more into your heels, or I'm sorry, forward into the toes, so your heels lift up slightly. And then exhale, bring your weight back down and lift just the toes off the floor. Keep the balls of the feet on the floor. Inhale forward onto the toes. Heels can lift a little or a lot. And then exhale, shift your weight back. And go back and forth like this at your own pace. It's okay if the arms need to get involved. They might swing out to the side and shift side to side. But remember, it will help you balance to keep your drishti, your gaze, forward and slightly lifted instead of down at the ground. That'll just make you want to come down to the ground. A gaze that's forward and slightly lifted will just make you want to take a step forward, so a lot safer. Couple more like this. Smooth out your face, shoulders down away from the ears, just waking up the lower part of the body. And then come to stillness and see if you can find where your weight is evenly distributed between the toes and the heels, between the right and the left foot. Engage consciously with the arches of the feet and act like your feet are suction cups. Like glue them down onto the ground and lift up in the center. That'll help engage through the muscles in the low legs. Gaze is forward, arms are coming down out of your shoulders, just breathing in and out. As we go through the half sun salutations, we're going to do quite a few rounds today. So keep mindful of your face. Keep it smooth as you can. Keep mindful of your spine. Look for length even as you're moving in and out of the postures. And be mindful of the breath. As long as you keep it moving in and out, it doesn't really matter what this looks like at all. Good. Next time you breathe in, reach around and up to any degree. Keep pushing down into your feet and lifting up as you stay. So really find as much length as you can, pushing down hard into the ground, imagining that you have roots that are like reaching down through your mat and through the floor and through the foundation into the earth below the building. And then imagine the energy coming up all the way through the arms, shoulders lifting up if they can, reaching past the fingertips, eyebrows lift, eyeballs lift. Good. Last inhale here, get as long as you possibly can. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees a lot if you're standing so your belly and your torso can rest. Head gets super heavy, or you can put your elbows on your knees and cradle your head with your hands. Either way, it's like a bowling ball on a string, super heavy. Shake your head yes a little bit, barely moving. Shake your head no a little bit, heavier, heavier, heavier. You might walk it out a little bit, bending one leg at a time or slightly swaying side to side. If you're moving, do so slower and slower until you're not moving anymore. Next time you breathe in, come only halfway up. So let your arms reach where they want, but focus on creating length from the tail to the crown. And then exhale, fold forward again. Again, inhale, lift halfway up, squeeze your shoulders onto your spine, lift your belly organs towards the spine. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lift halfway up, this time hold for 3 breaths. Rock your weight more into your heels. Create a lot of length out of the tail and through the crown of the head. Belly organs up, faces softer. Good. Exhale to fold forward. Push into your feet so that you can inhale and rise up. Hands come out to the sides or in front of you until they're overhead. They might touch. Exhale, bring your hands down through the center and rest at your chest. Okay, we're going to start moving a little faster. Go at your own speed, modify as you need to. Y'all know the rules. Take care of yourself. The most important thing is to move in synchronicity with the breath. Okay? It can look like you're barely moving at all, but if it feels like it's working for you, then that's good yoga. Inhale, reach around and up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Long, strong, lift your toes. Exhale to fold. Inhale, around and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, around and up. Maybe a back bend, hips forward, elbows back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach through the crown, and then exhale, fold forward. Belly is soft. Inhale all the way around and up. Exhale, hands down to your heart. 3 more at your own cadence. Take a break when you need to. Notice if your body is moving faster or slower than your breath. There's nothing wrong with it. Just see if you can match them up. Take your time. Maybe you stay somewhere for an extra breath or two because it feels right or like it's doing something that your body needs. When you're done, be done. We'll all meet in a mountain pose. Hands heavy out of your shoulders. Gaze locks forward and then soften your eyebrows and your jaw and your mouth. Maybe you swallow. Shoulders down away from your ears. Gentle pinch behind you. Push into your suction cup feet. Belly and pelvis pulling in and up slightly. Notice what's left over. Notice your shesha. Maybe it's a temperature difference or a difference in the way your breath is moving in and out. Maybe it's a difference in the way that you're thinking. And just remind yourself that none of that is right or wrong. Good. Okay, let's come to our warrior one. So if you're on a chair, you're going to turn so that just your left leg and buttock are on the seat so that you can swing your right foot back behind you. And I'll show you quickly just as a reminder. So warrior 2 is the big open L shape, right? Warrior 1 is where the toes are still pointed mostly to the front of your mat. Hips might be out to the side a little bit, but not as much as they are in warrior 2. That's like really big and open. And instead of arms out to the side, we're going to do arms up overhead or at the heart. So we're kind of in a more forward facing position, and the hips are more internally rotated in the back leg. Okay? So when you're ready, come to the front of your mat or turn sideways on your chair. If you're in a chair, by the way, I like to hang on to the side. And then let your gaze lock ahead of you at something that's not moving instead of looking down so you don't feel like falling down. And start to experiment with taking all of the weight out of the right foot. You might just like lift it up for a second and put it right back down, or you might be ready to hover, and that's fine too. Belly pulls in and up, pelvis pulls in and up, pinch your shoulders behind you, make sure your gaze is locked. And then with a little step, a bunch of little bunny hops or one big step, inhale, lift your foot up, exhale, send it back behind you. And just have the toes touch down first, so you're first in a high lunge. See if you feel super wobbly from side to side. If so, take your right foot a little more to the right or the left foot a little more to the left so you're more on railroad tracks instead of a balance beam. You might already feel a lot of wobbling here. That's good. That's normal. And then as gracefully as you can, set that back heel down with the toes pointed slightly out at an angle. So not perfectly forward. Unless you have super duper flexy ankles, it's not gonna be sustainable. Okay, push down more into the back pinky toe edge of your back leg. The leg is as long and strong and straight as you can get it. Front knee is bent over the left toes, but make sure when you look down you can still see your toes. If not, maybe scoot the toes forward or bend the knee a little less. Good. Let the hips do what they want to do, but open the chest as big as you can, and then you can decide what to do with your arms. You can either inhale, reach them up, or you could exhale, bring them to your back pockets and focus on opening the chest and pulling the shoulders down. Some bodies even interlace their fingers, like making a fist. Some bodies pull the hands down to straighten the arms more or all the way. If your arms are up, that's a traditional warrior one. You could bend your elbows and lift your chest up and let your gaze come up. Last breath. Come back to warrior one. Inhale, arms rise or release from behind you. Exhale, bring your hands down to your chest or your hips or your chair. A bunch of little steps or one big step. Take your foot back up to meet the other one. If you're in your chair, scoot over so both buttocks are on the chair again. Find symmetry and notice what is left over between the two sides of the body. Smooth out your forehead. Notice what's left over in your breath or between the two sides of your body or in the way that you're thinking. And then, of course, we'll do the other side. Let me turn the other way so you can see. So if you're standing, feel free to march in place again. Gaze is forward, not down at the ground. If you're on your chair, your right thigh and buttock are firm on the ground, and you might touch the chair with your right hand. Okay, start taking the weight out of your left foot this time. Soften your face, but let the attention be very firm and intense. And then start to take the weight out of the foot. Maybe it comes right back up and right back down. Maybe you hover. Suction cup your base foot to the floor. Squeeze all the muscles onto your standing leg. Good. And then when you're ready, a bunch of little bunny hops or one big step, start to take your left foot way back behind you into your high lunge. Heel is up at first. Feel free to use your arms out to the side or your chair for extra balance, or you could do hands at your hips or your heart. If you feel super wobbly side to side, you might just experiment with taking the right foot a little more to the right so you feel like you're on railroad tracks and not feet in line with each other. That's like a balancing beam. It's an Olympic sport for a reason. It's very hard, okay? Okay, chest is open and proud towards the front, gaze is forward, and then let the back heel come down. Kind of at a 45-ish degree angle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's not all the way open out to the side of the mat. Still towards the corner or front-ish. Bend your front knee more. Look down, make sure you can still see your toes. If not, unbend the knee a little more or take your toes more forward if you have just a wide stance. Squeeze the hip and buttock so the knee is opening and tracking out towards the pinky side. Good. Hold that. Straighten your back leg as long and strong as you can. Really push into the pinky toe edge of that back foot. And then decide what you want to do with your arms. So you might keep them at your hips or by your side for balance. You might inhale, reach them up overhead. You might bring them back behind you. Back pockets, palms back or palms forward. If you're doing that, you might do, I don't know what you call this, but chicken wing, where you just kind of like wobble your wings forward and back. Especially if you're opening the chest, you might feel a lot. You could interlace the fingers above you or behind you, or you could straighten the arms. If you're straightening the arms, pull the palms together and seal them shut. If your hands are overhead, lift the shoulders up towards the earlobes. Maybe your gaze goes up too. Last breath. Inhale, bring your arms back to your hips or your chair or your chest. And then however you want to get there, as gracefully as you can, both feet together, and notice what's left over. Take a seat or stand at the front of your mat. You can roll your shoulders. Yeah, you can roll your ankles, whatever you need to do, but then please do come to stillness and notice what's left over. Good. Okay, if you're on your chair, scoot forward to the edge of your seat and take your feet wider than your hips. If you're on the mat, turn towards the long edge of your mat and then take a wide stance with the toes pointing out at an angle. Yeah, good. Okay, last standing movement that we're going to do here. So inhale, bring your arms around and up so you're in a big X kind of shape. Exhale, bend your knees and your elbows so the top half of your body is kind of mirroring the bottom half. If you're in your chair, imagine you're going to stand, but don't get out of your seat. So engage all the muscles to lift up. If you're on your feet, let yourself sink down until you find that place where you're like starting to tip forward or slouch, and then back up about 10%. Pull your pelvis in and up, pull your belly in and up, squeeze your shoulders behind you, and soften your gaze, lock it ahead. Good. Stay or come up onto your right toes, lift the heel. Exhale to lower. Other side. Maybe you do that one more time. Maybe you lift both sets of heels. Soft face, keep breathing. And then lower them back down. Inhale, straighten the arms and the legs, big X shape. Exhale, hands come down. Heel toe your feet back underneath you or together on your chair. And everyone take a seat either in your chair or on your mat. Take your time coming down. When you do come to your seat, find a tall spine, just like we did at the beginning. Belly is, or pelvis is kind of tilted forward almost, so the water would spill out of the front, not the back of your bowl. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears again. Gaze is forward. Really soften the features of your face. Soften your attention as well. Notice what you notice, without any judgment or trying to change it or control it. Good. If you're on the floor, you have more options with your legs, but we're just going to end class with a forward fold and then come into our meditation today. So in a chair, obviously, legs can be all the way together. They can be hip distance apart, or they could be wider. And then you could keep elbows on your knees and cradle your head, or you could fold forward with the arms and head dangling towards the floor. If you're on the floor, you could give yourself kind of a hug with knees still bent. That's a forward fold. Or you could have legs stacked in a way that makes you feel tall and fold over those legs, but keep in mind that if one leg's on the top, that's technically asymmetrical, so then you want to flip it halfway through. Or you could have soles of the feet together with the knees open towards the sides. And then you could fold forward. Make your choice. These are not right or wrong answers. They're options. Maybe your arms are really heavy. Maybe your arms are really strong, supporting you from underneath. If you want to intensify the sensation of folding forward without actually moving or coming more forward, just imagine pulling in and up on the belly organs towards the spine and see what happens. While you constrict the front of your body, imagine breathing bigger into the backside of your body. Remember, your lungs physically are bigger in your back half. Fill them up as best you can. It doesn't have to feel good. Just notice what it does feel like. Face is smoother. Head is heavier. Without changing anything, see if you can soften 1% more in your body and in your breath, and even soften around the edges of your thoughts. See if you can find a place where you're not fighting your body is not in the way. Your body is the way. In a moment, we're going to work our way out of this posture. So before you move, imagine how you would get out and come back to a tall spine. And then use your breath, use your arms for support, and slowly, slowly, slowly start to push yourself back up to a tall spine. Good. If you're in your chair, scoot all the way back into your chair now so you feel fully supported. If you're on the floor, use your arms for support and carefully lower yourself down onto your back so you're laying down on the ground. And no matter where you ended, you could keep the knees bent with the feet flat on the ground, or you could slightly elongate that posture, or you could elongate the legs entirely until they're straight out ahead of you. Probably if you're in your chair, you want to keep them bent, or you might feel like your legs pull you forward and you're sliding. Good. Roll your shoulders down away from you one more time. Arms are resting on something, either the floor next to you or on your belly or your chest or your legs. Gaze is forward. Pick something that's not moving where you can lock your attention and then soften the muscles around your eyes. Your eyebrows and your eyelids heavier. They might even shut partway or all the way. Swallow once. Soften around your jaw and your mouth. Consciously relax the muscles around your neck and your shoulders and your chest. Unclench your hands, unclench your feet. And notice the sensation of doing nothing. Again, you don't have to like what you find, just notice what you do find. Let distractions be what they are, where they are. Use your breath as an anchor for your attention, over and over. We'll end class here with a short guided body scan meditation, but as usual, this is optional. If you'd rather practice a prayer or an affirmation that you're working with or something I didn't mention, this is your time. Make it your class. But if you're following along with me, bring all of your awareness and attention now just to the tips of your toes. Notice the bottoms of your feet. Notice the tops of your feet. Notice your ankles. Notice your lower legs. Notice your knees. Notice your upper legs. Notice your hips. Notice your buttocks. Notice your pelvis. Notice your belly. Notice your low back. Notice sides of your waist. Notice your upper back. Notice your chest. Notice your shoulders. Notice your upper arms. Notice your elbows. Notice your lower arms. Notice your wrists, backs of your hands, palms of your hands. Notice your fingertips. Notice the front of your throat. Notice the back of your neck. Notice the back of your head. Notice the top of your head. Notice your forehead. Notice your temples. Notice your ears. Notice your cheeks. Notice your jaw. Notice your chin. Notice your lips. Notice your teeth. Notice your tongue. Notice your nose. Right eyelid. Left eyelid. Right eyebrow. Left eyebrow. Notice the space between your eyebrows. Now that you've noticed your whole body one piece at a time, take a step back in your mind and sense your whole system together as one big piece. When a pain or distraction pulls you away, acknowledge it and return your attention back to your whole body together, over and over. Good. Now let go of that. And become aware again of the parts of your body that are touching whatever's underneath you. Notice your breath without changing it. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes to let your body wake back up gently. And that can turn into something bigger, or it might stay very small. You might not be moving at all, whatever feels right. If you feel good where you are, I might encourage you to stay here today to end class. But if you choose, we could end in a seat like normal. So decide which way you would get up. And then maybe offer one last yoga practice for your brain and get up the opposite direction, or using a different arm or a different method than you normally do. But do so with support. And slowly and gently as you continue to breathe. Legs can be in whatever position feels right for you. Spine should feel long, but it doesn't need to look like anything in particular. Maybe roll your shoulders down away from your ears again. And this time I'll invite you to bring your hands together, either in a prayer-like position with your thumbs touching your chest, or you can stack your hands, whatever feels good. And look down or bow down towards your heart and your hands. And this motion is in gratitude of yourself. So as best you can, give yourself a sincere thank you just for showing up. Everything else was just practice. And remember, you have a body, but you're not just your body. You have a mind, but you're not just your thoughts. And you have emotions, but you're not just your feelings. When you're ready, your hands can come down. Let your eyes flutter open and up. Class is over. Thank you all for coming. I'll stop the recording, of course. I'll stop the recording, and then if anyone has questions or concerns, we can talk now, or we can always talk over email later, too, if you don't want to talk in front of the group.
Thank you.